All right, so good morning, YouTube. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for 42 new subscribers. I'm so happy about that. Thank you guys so very much. I love you guys so much. I started to come back to our little series where I used to talk about different things that a lot of us deal with. So my first little video is going to be about the voice in the head, which is going to be today's video. And then the next two parts is going to be, one is going to be about work and dedication, and the other one's going to be about passion. Super excited to talk about all three of these beautiful topics that I am obsessed with. So that's gonna be exciting. So today's video is gonna talk about the little voice in our head. So if you guys want to know more about these beautiful series and still join me on this awesome journey, I'm so excited because I found the video where I went to Orlando, and I'm gonna put that up as well. So that's like a little teaser for you guys. But I'm super excited for today's video. So if you guys want to see more videos and you guys want to see my journey grow on YouTube, hopefully, please subscribe to this channel. I love you guys very much, and thank you so much for your love and support and all your comments. I love you guys. Honestly, you are the sweetest, nicest people, and please don't let anybody tell you who you are not. You have the power to change that. Love you. And let's get into today's video. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna start with the little voice in our head. What do I mean by this little voice in our head? Well, we tend to call this little voice in our head our ego, our conscience. There's many different voices that we say they are. But let's be honest, this is the little voice that tells you certain things, but it all depends on how your mindset is. So if your mindset is very negative, then that little voice in your head, of course, is going to be negative. It's probably telling you, you can't do this. What are you, crazy? This is going to end badly. But if that voice is a little bit of positive, then you hear, hey, why not try it? Let's see where it goes. Even if we failed, we learned a lesson. So I want you guys to start really checking in with that voice. That voice tends to be that little person that you don't see. But if you look in the mirror, it's like if you were talking to that voice. So a little exercise that I want you guys to try to do is go to a mirror or anywhere that you can see your reflection, even on your phone. Talk to your camera, it's fine. And ask yourself, are you happy? Is there anything in this lifetime that you want, that you have not worked hard for, or that you're passionate about? Is there? Is there? Ask yourself such questions. I'm curious to know the answer. So really, when you talk to that voice, I want you guys to really take a minute or two to really understand it. So when I talk to that voice, I'm going to tell you guys a long time ago, when I would talk to that voice, she was a scared person, was so scared to open her heart to love because she's gotten hurt. So she was scared to love. She was like, oh my God, are you crazy? We're not doing this again. We're gonna get our heart broken. So she was so negative. Not only that, whenever I tried out to go for like modeling or singing, she was like, oh no, are you crazy? Hello, do you not recall this incident? Like, let's not do this. Let's be smart. It's sad to say, but I was a very negative person. And maybe most of you don't see that because I learned to be positive. I have grown to be positive. Yes, there's days that my negativity comes back and it goes right there. And it just comes back. But it's the positivity that I feel afterwards because I'm like, damn, there's no reason for me to feel this way. Girl, you don't know what you're talking about. I could do it. I'm going to do it anyways. Even if you tell me no, I'm going to do it anyways. But sometimes there's a little bit of that voice that we should listen to, because it could keep us away from danger or hurting us in any type of way. But there's also something else. Okay, the reason why you should listen to this voice. There is sometimes that we don't want to listen to this voice because we're like, you're wrong. Nothing's going to happen. But there's part of that you grow from it because it teaches you a lesson. Now, when that little voice is saying, hey, you shouldn't do that, trust me, it's not going to end well. Sometimes it's best to listen to that voice. Although we want to be so rebellious and say, I want to, you can't. Because there's part of you that knows that voice is right, but there's also part of you that's being so rebellious that you're like, I don't care. But it's bad. Don't do that. If the voice is telling you not to, it's because there's a legitimate reason and lesson within there that maybe we don't pay much attention. For example, I was told not to get back with someone. I didn't listen. And I got my heart broken maybe 3 or 4 times in a row because of not listening to that little voice in my head telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't go after this audition because you're not going to feel comfortable about what they're going to ask you for. Still did it. Wasn't wrong. I felt so uncomfortable in an audition room that I have never felt before, and I'm going to tell you guys that story. Way at the beginning when it told me don't go because it's not going to work for you, possibly the outcome would have been a little different, but at the same time I did learn a lesson. If I don't feel comfortable, I should not stay. If I do not feel that this is going to benefit in any type of way of my life or anybody around me, there's no reason to. Yes, when you're uncomfortable, you grow. But it's not for you to feel like you are forced to do something that you actually love to do. These people made it seem like when you're doing commercials, you're forced to say certain words. No, you're saying these words so people would understand the products, so people can understand what you're selling, what you're trying to get them to buy. That is the whole point of a commercial, is to persuade the customer on the other side of the screen to buy what you're selling. So you're capturing their attention with your beautifulness, and you're acting and everything, your presence. All of that is what it is. It's acting. You are giving the performance of a lifetime. And if you can't do that, they don't want you in Hollywood. And it is true. They don't want you to be on a commercial screen at all. And it's crazy to me how these things can happen, but it's so real and so true. And yeah, so if you wanted to do that, well, I'm bringing it down. When you listen to that little voice in your head, sometimes, or we don't, or we become rebellious like I was, you learn a lesson within that. Now, back a tracker up. I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh my God, Gwen, but the voice in my head is not that important. Like, what the heck are you talking about? It actually is. It's actually very important. And we're going to switch it up a little bit. And this is what I'm going to say. The voice inside your head tells you, oh, you can't do something if it's very negative, right? It's going to tell you can't do this, you can't amount to this, blah, blah, blah. Gives you a bunch of negativity thoughts. Now, if it's positive, what does it say to you? It says, girl, go do it. You got this. Let's go. Come on, I'm there. I'm supporting you. I'm your backup, right? But part of you is still like, but like, what if... It literally makes you shift that negative thought that you have right there. And it tells you, I'm here. I'm your voice. Listen to me. Connect with your heart. If your heart feels comfortable with this, then listen to that. Follow your heart. You know how you heard that in so many Disney movies? Follow your heart. Follow what your heart perceives. In a way, like, if my heart agrees with what my head is saying, then all right, you know what? It's not for me. But if my heart is saying, yo, girl, let's go, and your head is like, no, be like, heart said, let's go. We're going to try it, and we're going to see what the outcome is. Basically, simple math. So I really just wanted to point that out because it's crazy to me how we tend to really not understand this voice in our head as much. And it's a very crazy thing to do. But at the same time, let's be honest, at the same time, we're going to make it happen no matter what our heart or mind tells us, because we're so rebellious that we tend to not listen to little voices in our heads and we do what we want. And I don't find that as a bad thing, and I never will. It's never a bad thing for you to want something. It's never a bad thing for you to say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. No, it's never a bad thing. But I do want you guys to remember that life is kind of hard when you can't make something happen for yourself. And you tend to be so negativity about it. It's sad. But I want you guys to remember one thing. Don't ever give up who you are or hope for something in the future just because you're pretending that little voice in your head is just negativity all the time. Because let's be honest, if you're a positive person, that positive little head of yours is the same as you. It's not as negative as you think. So get to know this person. So that's what we're going to talk about, the little voice. Now we're going to switch the subject up.